What's the greatest courtroom outburst you've ever seen? I was at my sister's divorce hearing last month when her husband's lawyer stood up and said she was mentally unstable and an unfit mother. My sister Amy just sat there taking it while this guy in his expensive suit listed off every mistake she'd made in the past 5 years, how she'd gotten fired from her teaching job, how she'd been prescribed anxiety medication, how their kids had missed school because she couldn't get it together. The judge was writing everything down and seemed to be buying every word. Amy's lawyer kept objecting, but the judge kept overruling him. I could see Amy's hands shaking in her lap. Her husband Zachary sat there with this smug look on his face, like he'd already won. Then about 20 minutes into this character assassination, the courtroom door opened. This woman walked in wearing hospital scrubs with a lanyard that said ICU nurse. She was maybe 40 with her hair pulled back, looking exhausted, like she'd just gotten off a shift. She marched straight to the front and said, "Your Honor, I need to speak." The judge looked annoyed and told her to sit down and wait her turn. She said, "No, I can't do that." The judge threatened to hold her in contempt, but she refused to move. "I'm the ICU nurse who treated this man's girlfriend after he put her in the hospital 3 months ago, and I can't sit here and listen to him destroy this woman's life." You could hear people gasping. Zachary's face went completely white. His lawyer immediately stood up and said, "Objection, Your Honor, this is completely out of line." But the judge held up his hand and told the nurse to continue. She pulled out her phone and started showing photos. "This is what your client did to a 24-year-old woman named Samantha Coleman on February 14th. She was severely injured and hospitalized for over a week. The photos were brutal. I could see people in the gallery turning away." Amy started crying, but this time they were different tears. The nurse kept going. "He told the police she fell down the stairs, but she told me the truth when she woke up. She said he attacked her because she threatened to tell his wife about their affair." Zachary stood up and started yelling, "She's lying. This is insane. I've never even met this woman." His lawyer was trying to calm him down, but Zachary pushed past him. "Your Honor, this is a setup. My wife planned this whole thing." The judge slammed his gavel down so hard I thought it would break. "Mr. Marshall, sit down now or I will have you removed." The nurse wasn't done. She said, "I have text messages between him and Samantha. I have her medical records. I have security footage from the hospital parking garage showing him dropping her off and driving away. And I have a restraining order that was filed against him 6 weeks ago that apparently no one here knew about." Amy's lawyer jumped up and requested an immediate recess to review this new evidence. The judge granted it, and the nurse handed over her phone and a folder full of documents. We all sat there for 45 minutes in complete silence, except for Zachary pacing in the hallway outside. When they came back, the judge looked absolutely furious. He said he'd reviewed the evidence and it was legitimate. He asked Zachary's lawyer if he had any knowledge of the restraining order. The lawyer said no and looked like he wanted to disappear. Then the judge turned to Zachary. "Mr. Marshall, not only have you committed perjury in my courtroom, but you violated a restraining order by being in this county. Bailiff, take him into custody immediately." 2 bailiffs moved toward Zachary and he completely lost it. He tried to run for the door, but they grabbed him. He was screaming at Amy, "This is all your fault, you vindictive witch, you ruined my life." Amy stood up for the first time and her voice was steady. "No, Zachary, this is all yours. I didn't do any of this. You did." The judge awarded Amy full custody of their 2 kids, sole ownership of their house, and ordered Zachary to pay her legal fees plus $50,000 in damages for emotional distress. As they dragged him out in handcuffs, he was still screaming threats. The nurse walked over to Amy and hugged her. She said, "I couldn't let him do to you what he did to Samantha." Later, Amy told me she'd never met that nurse before in her life. The woman had just seen the court listing and decided to show up. Sometimes justice comes from the most unexpected places.